Welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? This is your go-to source for practical advice and support when considering if a divorce is the right answer for you. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll uncover a variety of topics such as child custody, property division, and self-care. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here is your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst Professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello and welcome to Breaking Ties, Is Divorce the Answer? I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And this week-long series or 5-part series I put together on relationship changes, really it's Mike's relationship series, is going to talk about a lot of different pieces of, kind of the transition and parts of moving on after either a long-term relationship or a marriage. It doesn't really matter. They're very similar in nature. One has a legal process, the other doesn't. But when it comes down to putting yourself back together, I want to look at that aspect of things. And, we start with the first step, which is just the change in relationship, the getting the news. And how do you process that? And how does it hit you? Were you expecting it? Not expecting it? Sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. You can see it coming a mile away. Sometimes it just sneaks up on you. And once you get the news, that's when, the real work starts. It's like, okay, you really can't change things. You can't make another person love you. It's just the fact of life. If somebody's not loving one person, the relationship is between two people, and it should be equally shared. And when we get to understanding each side of it, then hopefully you can come to your own realization. Now, in the beginning here with, is divorce the answer? It comes down to, deciding whether or not to get that divorce or whether or not to have that breakup. And, while my insight might be a little hindsight 2020, the reality is it's really still part of the processing phase when you're deciding whether or not to get a divorce. I mean, there's so many factors that go into it. It's love is a big one. Do you see yourself with that person going forward still, as your spouse? Where do you guys differ? What's causing the rift? What's pushing things apart? Can you save your marriage? Yeah, it's not out of the question. You haven't filed for divorce. That's, you can still work on things as long as both parties want to work on it, and as long as both parties also feel like you can get something accomplished. So if you've reached that crossroads where that's not necessarily the case, then you may end up filing for divorce still. I mean, there's no cure-all for keeping a relationship going. Relationships are hard. They are challenging. You have to put work and time into it. You actually need to give it its own love and due diligence. And when you have kids, let's say you have kids, I had kids, it's hard to give everything to your kids and at the same time pour everything you have into the relationship. But that's what it requires. And, could many divorce be saved because of that? Possibly. I think it's always a matter of perception. Let's go with perception. And the reality is some people are good at it. Some people aren't. Sometimes you get to it. Sometimes you don't. And it's always easier afterwards to look back and go, gosh, where'd we go wrong? I mean, it doesn't take much to throw a relationship off track. And it could be even external environmental factors. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything you did. It could be something that changed things. I mean, heck, it could be as simple as a job change. With a financial change with the job, that could be less money, or you have to move to a different area and you're not happy in the new area. I mean, anything could cause it to go, say, sideways. If you've been married before, got divorced, and now you're with somebody else, an ex-spouse could cause things to go sideways. Would not be totally out of the question, depending on, what the financials are or how they take help with the kids or don't help with the kids or don't do anything or just flat out disappear. I mean, so there's a lot of things that can cause relationships to go sideways. And it's not necessarily always anyone's fault. But at the same time, when you're looking at making a big change, through the divorce process, it's very easy to say it's so-and-so's fault or so-and-so's fault. But in the end, if you reflect on it and see, maybe the relationship ran its course and both parties got out of it everything they wanted or needed at that time. Whether there's kids involved or not, or there's even older kids, like my kids are older, so it's a little easier for them to understand the process I went through with, the long-term partner and breakup kind of thing. And so when I look at, is divorce the answer? Relationship changes. It's fairly obvious. Yeah, there's a relationship change. It's a matter of how are you going to get through it? How are you going to process it? And it's never a hard or easy decision. The decision is already probably cast. Both parties probably see it. But if you're able to save things and stuff still, then I always recommend doing that. I'm not an advocate for getting a divorce. It's a hard, arduous process. There's no fun in it. There's nothing, rarely does it go smoothly. There's always bumps and hiccups along the way. But it is a process that's necessary for those who can't reconcile their differences. And so it's nice to have that available as well to make sure that you're protecting yourself, your long-term future as well. So with that, I'm going to conclude this first part of the series with regards to relationship changes and kind of what to look at a little bit and where some thought process might lie, and the fact that really it may not be anybody's fault. And that's okay. There is nothing wrong with both people being like amicable and mutually agreeable on the sense that, hey, the relationship has run its course. Time to move on. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties. Is divorce the answer? If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Always happy to help. In the meantime, though, do the best you can and have yourself a fantastic day.